whole month. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to do this. First, we're going to come here. We're going to use, since now we're talking about a longer time frame, I'm going to come here and see, okay, well, what is the chances of this stock actually falling maybe by $20, $30 over a month? And so what do we see here?
Well, the history is that it's been way down. What is it? It's only come back up again. Is that December 17th?
Okay, but here's what I'm seeing, Chris. Here's what I'm seeing. Okay?
12 months ago, it was below 100.
I know. But look, here's what I'm thinking at this point. I'm looking at this, and I see that the stock is actually capable. At one point, it went from, what, 250 to under 200. So it's capable of doing a $50 move, and it showed here it can do a $50 move. Okay, and right now it's only down from, what, 260 to 239. That's a $20 move. So I still think there is a $30 move lower. If I'm using this variations of $50 move lower and a $50 move higher, that could also mean that the stock could make a $50 move here, but I'm not measuring it from here. I'm measuring it from the 260 where it started. So from 260 to 239, it already made a $21 move, so another $29 move is possible. So it looks like it could come to the 210 area, okay, over a month's time. Now, it could actually do that. As we see this, we may not have to wait a month. It may actually happen within a week. So even though we're buying a monthly option, you know, if it does go to 210, and this is the area where they're sort of buying it, I would close it out. And at 210, that option would produce a 400% return. Now, this is the most important thing that I'm observing here, and I actually like this a lot, okay? I like this a lot. So, look at this RSI. As it was hitting an all-time high here, look where RSI was at the 90 level. See this?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
this stop right here actually is reflected in this stop right here. It coincides.
Yes. Yep.
Now, this is the coolest indicator of all that I know, Chris, that in real life has actually gotten me more good put trades than anything else. And this is it right here. And you know what? If you have a chance, take a picture or pull it up on your graphs and take a picture of it somehow, because this is exactly what I want you to look at in the future. So this is what I'm talking about. Now look, the price of the stock was at the highest level and the RSI was at the highest level. Now look what happens to the price of the stock. Now this price here is higher than the price right here. Do you see this?
Yeah, okay. Yep,
This point here is now ultimately the highest point at which the stock has ever traded in its history of this graph. But where is the RSI?
Yeah, it's only halfway to that point.
Right.
Or
So
3/4.
So look, this is a perfect example of a divergence. It's a divergence. As the stock goes higher, this indicator is not following it higher, and this is a definite sign of a top. Okay? This is a sign of a top. Now, well, at the same time, look, for the like this accumulation starts to go like a little bit, it's starting to curve, okay? And so that tells me there's actually room for more sellers to come in and sell, okay? So I think if we go with the 1 month trade and actually buy one put option, if we're able to buy it at the level where it's at right now. Now, another thing I'm thinking is, you know, let's say the markets are actually topping, and let's say the markets are going to be negative next week, okay?
Yeah.
So now the stock already has negative news, right? And the markets are negative. So are they really going to be buying this stock next week?
They're going to dump it like stone, hot stone.
Right. So there is a chance. Now, if the market is going to be positive, what could happen? It could be fluctuating, maybe a few dollars up, a few dollars down, right? So my strategy would be this. I hope the market's open positive. My strategy would be this. If the stock goes higher by a few dollars, maybe 242, 245, I am not buying the idea that this is a bullish stock anymore. So if it goes higher, I'm going to buy the put. Okay? Right. I remember at one point, me and you have discussed an important thing to observe, which is called a gap up or a gap down. You see, when the stock announced the earnings here, what happened? See, there is a gap. It was a gap, and it was a gap down. See, it was not a gap up and then down. It was a straight gap down, which is another bearish sign. Okay, so a gap down is a bearish sign. Okay, so as you correctly pointed out, some people thought it was a bargain here and they started buying it. However, do you see where the gap started?
Yeah, okay, at the top.
It started here at the level of about 251.90. Now, where was this? This was at 248. So this was $3, $4 from actually hitting this. But it never even got here. And it started selling up, which means there was not enough strength for them to close the gap. And when the gap does not close, that is a bearish sign, which means this stock may not be able to close this gap for another month or 2 or 3, or who knows. This may be the highest this stock is ever going to trade. Okay, and this crazy bullish trend that it has experienced for over a year or 2 years, maybe it's finally coming to an end. Maybe that is why they're selling. Maybe that's what they realize, and maybe the stock is stopping here, and there is no more reasons to buy it, and there is no more reasons for it to go higher to the 300 level. Okay, so
over a period of time, it creeps up, then drops, and then creeps up, then drops.
Right.
So back in 2016, they've done it twice.
Right. If you're looking back here and you're observing it dropped, it kind of, they were accumulating it, and then it jumped higher, probably on some good news again. But the point is I'm observing also here on this MACD, it's sort of a double top. See, this black thing matches with the top price in the stock. As the stock price goes higher, this is no longer at its highest level. That is called a double top. It's a double top. It's a double top. So now we have found out about 3 or 4 bearish signs, and so our only bullish signs at this point are the fact that, yeah, the accumulation has not dropped, but it also gives us a potential for a bigger sell-off. And we're looking here, and you know, we're seeing that every time it dips below the blue line, it doesn't go significantly lower, but could it actually be different this time? If the stock is really topping off, and this is a double top, we may see this stock actually now. I'm more convinced that over a period of a month, it has a chance to go to this level here of 189.
Okay.
I have actually now convinced myself of this, Chris. Okay. But, you know, this is kind of where I start looking at things, okay? Now, I will show you another thing about the stock, which is going to be another bearish sign. Have you visited Investors Business Daily on Friday?
I did.